Me being a professor, that is a life of like slavery, okay? Especially nowadays. It's really like humiliating slavery.
The album of the day is Death Grips, The Money Store. Watch till the end of the video to hear my thoughts on it. Luke Smith is quickly becoming my favorite YouTuber. He lives what I call a free lifestyle. Calling him a YouTuber would be a disservice because he's far more than that. He is very smart when it comes to open source software. He is a free man that lives in the woods, and also, I would say, a philosopher. Luke Smith has this podcast called Not Related. There he talks about how, for example, democracy is the rule of the NPC and how it doesn't work. His ideas are very out there, and if you're getting tired of all the run-of-the-mill ideas on Reddit or YouTube, I highly recommend him, because when you listen to him, you're like, oh my god, I never thought about that. So if you're looking for new stimulation and new content to consume, then this is the place to be. In his most popular podcast on bullshit jobs, he talks about a book written by Schumpeter about how a lot of jobs that we have basically don't even need to exist. And I've been in a bullshit job myself a few times. For example, I was working at a office job in the hospital, and what I had to do was basically plan whenever people would get some sort of test done, while at the same time those people were giving up their time and date when they wanted the test. So it could have been automated easily. So I was doing a job of a computer, which, it paid well, but it was so boring that it wasn't worth it. So yeah, his podcast on bullshit jobs, I highly recommend it. He also has another podcast talking about the bicameral mind of Julian Jaynes, which is an amazing idea that talks about how our consciousness could have evolved from this thing of the left-right dichotomy. Your left brain is more like task-oriented, and whenever something seems like a prophecy, your right brain tells your left brain to listen up, and it comes across as like a divine projection, as Providence telling you something. And he really goes deep into this book. I love his videos talking about, for example, anti-nerdness. I used to be this kind of guy who was a bit nerdy. I was good at a few little things, and I wanted to be territorial about that thing that I was good at, which made me misanthropic because I didn't care about other people because, oh, I'm so good, I'm so smart, I don't need other people. And when I grew up, I realized, oh my god, that's not real life at all. In some sense, life is still a high school popularity contest, which is kind of shitty, but it's a bit of the truth. When I was a nerd, I could basically get away with not being social. Also, his view on the academy is very interesting. He worked as I believe, a teacher at the academy, and he talks about how the university is kind of, according to him, an evil system, because it asks something of you, and it just keeps asking and asking and asking until basically it's 2 a.m. and you can expect a message from your university asking you to do something.
Hell is a place that most people are going to enjoy. Most people out there, they want to go to hell.
So, philosophically speaking, I think Luke Smith is the least pretentious YouTuber. His ideas come from a very ancient source of knowledge, which is Christian orthodoxy. He talks about how he went to the Orthodox Church and he felt some sort of serenity, and it was really good for him. Also, he reads books from like 2,000, 3,000 years ago because he speaks fluent Latin, and then gets a complete unique perspective of how people used to think. And when you hear him talk, you get very, very unique perspectives. I used to be Muslim, then I became atheist, and now I don't really know what I am, but I could call myself a hermeticist, which is more like a religion close by to, I'd say, Judaism in some sense, because Judaism and Hermeticism came up around the same time. Check out Luke Smith. I feel like he's one of the most honest YouTubers out there. You can get a lot of knowledge from his speaking, from his podcast. So yeah, give him a look. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. So this album is accelerated hip-hop. It is really good. You get transported into this cyberspace where you're basically on a combination of 4chan and YouTube playing at 4 times speed, while a homeless man on crack is screaming at you. And it's a riveting experience. You feel your heart rate just rising. And the production on this is insane. Do you hear all these crazy arpeggios and it just doesn't stop coming, and you just feel like breaking something. So it's a great way to relieve some sort of stress. And also the lyrics are really good. My favorite song of this album is Hacker. That's the album closer. It's more accessible to normal people, so I'd recommend starting with Hacker. If you like that song, just put on this album, you'll love it. Thank you for watching.